Welcome back, guys. In this video I'm going to be giving you guys one of my best SMC entry technique, and the reason why I like this technique is because of one, it gives me huge risk reward setups and it gives me precise entry with very little drawdown. You guys know that sometimes I like to flip accounts, and if I want to flip accounts, I want to see my price trading away from my entry immediately, right? So that's the advantage of this entry model. It gives me good risk reward, it gives me precise entry, little to no drawdown, and it just has good win rates. So this is what I'm going to be discussing in this video. I'm going to be giving you guys a ton of live examples to back up this my claim, and these are not hindsight examples. These are examples of the trades that I called in my free Telegram channel. I'll be showing you guys proof. I'm also going to be giving you guys a couple of things you can do to make this entry model very easy for you to spot, and I'm going to give you the pairs that I've actually backtested this strategy on. Now this time I work on many pairs, but this pair that I backtested this strategy on, I'm going to be revealing it to you guys somewhere within the video. Now if this sounds like something you are interested in, I would really appreciate if you can go down and hit that like button. And don't worry, if you are stingy to like the video, it's okay. You can just at any point when the video start making sense for you, definitely you guys know any video I post is good, right? And these are videos that I have backtested. These are things that I backtested and not just something I came up with. Okay, so guys, let's dive into the video. So you guys know that I'm a 5-minute trader. I'm a lower time frame trader. I trade on the lower time frame, and you know, if you are scalping, you are going to spend time on charts. But no, this entry model allows me to just set limit order and just set and forget, right? I'm not going to waste most of the time. I'm going to just give you straight up the rules for this entry model. And these trades are not just something that I marked out. They are usually called in my some of them is in my free Telegram channel. You can click the link to join, while some of them is in my my Telegram, my distance. You can see in my private group. As you can see, this is it. You see, so these are not live, these are not hindsight, these are trades that I called, and I'm always back testing this, and that's what I spend my time. All right, let me not waste your time. So what is the rules? So the rules is that we are looking for directional bias and a valid POI, right? Now let's skip to the part of the directional bias. Let's just skip to this part. Now what is this? If you guys don't know how to find your directional bias, basically finding directional bias is just repeating the same entry model on the higher time frame. If it's still not clear for you, I have a dedicated video. But let's jump over to the entry model, which is the focus of this video. Now what is this? Our entry model basically is us taking a trade on this valid POI, right? So what is this valid POI? This valid POI is basically has this criteria. One, it's an unmitigated order block that has a break of the main structure, and it's at premium, or let's say at beyond 50%. So because sometimes it's bearish and sometimes it's bullish, you know, so you cannot say as premium beyond 50%, which means if it's a bullish setup, you're looking to be buying at below 50%. If it's a bearish, above 50%. So that's it. So, and there must be liquidity close to this order block. There must be liquidity. Now before you guys jump and say this is something I've been teaching, no, I'm always back testing, so I'm seeing new refinements. But there must be liquidity close to the order block, right? So now this liquidity, I want to refine it a bit. Before I told you guys liquidity is basically a swing, but no, this liquidity needs to meet this criteria. Number one, this liquidity must, let's write this liquidity, the rules for the liquidity. So this liquidity, one, it must be beyond 50%. It must be sitting at a range beyond 50%. So what do I mean by that? That means I will show you guys all these things, so just relax. So it must be beyond 50, it must be beyond the range 50%, and we want to focus on square liquidity or a pile of liquidity. What do I mean by that? Before we used to focus on this is good. I've not backtested this thing in other strategy or in other pairs, but the main type of strategy this thing that I backtested, it was on good. So just for you, but I believe it will work, and I will still go and shake it out for you guys. But just to make this thing, just for clarification, it was on good that I backtested this strategy, right? So now it must be square liquidity and it must be beyond 50%. I told you guys directional bias. Now let's just say that we have determined the directional bias. Obviously it was very bearish here, but now we are looking for valid POI, and this valid POI, the first thing we want to look out for is my eyes goes to unmitigated order block. Now I saw this order block, I saw this. So let's take, you can decide to draw all of this order block. You can decide to draw all of them. You can decide to mark them out, and just mark them. Another thing I like to look out for in these POIs, I like to focus on tiny order blocks. Let's put that in, tiny order block. And this is just my personal rule, but tiny order block gives me the best results, both in reactions and in risk to reward. These are things I'm back testing. Just allow me to show you guys my trading journal, right? So this is my trading journal. You see me back testing all what I'm back testing. If you go to this 5-minute setup, you can see this thing. If you go to this thing, these are stuff I'm looking to back test and more. This is how I back test and journal my trade. So that's just something worth noting. Yeah, so back to what we are saying, right? So first we have all this order block, all of them are unmitigated, and we want to see which one has a break of the main structure. Now this whole price action, what is a main structure? I think it's something that I need to explain. A main structure is those higher highs and higher lows, lower lows and lower, all those stuff. And for you to be able to identify it, you must be able to read the market structure efficiently. I'm going to try to break it down for you guys. So let's say price is in this is higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher lower low, lower highs. So this is a main structure, this is a main structure, this is a key high, this is a key high. Sometimes price is going to do something like this. These are minor structural break. This is where the main structure break occurs. So if price does something like this, right, you cannot say that price has break structure. You cannot say that this is a break of the main structure. No, until it break to this point before you can now say that price has break the main structure, and you might look to take a trade from this other block. Now this is on the time frame you are trading, because on another time frame this is going to be a major break of the main structure, but on this time frame you are working with, this is not the case. I hope you guys understand. So those higher highs and higher lows, lower lows and lower lows, those are your main structure. So you want to see that price breaks it. Now back to what we are saying. Now if you look at this other block, it actually break a main structure like this, although the structure, the price is just straight up, no structure to work with. So that's something to take note of. The next thing you want to do, you want to see that it's beyond 50%. If we take this as our range, obviously it's clearly beyond 50%, or you can decide to take from here to here. This one is more significant, it is beyond 50%. Now we need to see liquidity close to the other block. Obviously we have liquidity, and this liquidity, we want to see that this liquidity is beyond 50%. Obviously it's beyond 50%. You can mark it out. If this is your range that you choose, you can mark it out. You can see both the other block and this thing is beyond 50%. Now the other block is tiny. That's something to take note of at this side. Tiny other blocks, they give me the best reactions, and as I told you guys earlier, so you want to see square liquidity. What is this square liquidity, or a pile of liquidity? You can see all these things constitute a liquidity. You see, this is not just a single swing, right? This is a square liquidity, right? And you want to be sure that it's unmitigated. Why won't I add unmitigated? It needs to be okay, yes, it's in the first thing, so it's unmitigated. So this is why I took the trade. You can decide to take your profit at a decent risk reward, or at 7 hours, which is something that I trade. So this is the rule for this one trade I record. Now what else again? We now had price started giving us bullish price action. What do we have? We have something like this, nothing really clear, but we have a break of structure, a higher high, higher low, higher high. So price came and do all these things, right? So it came and do all these things, and the first thing I asked myself, I noticed that price is bullish, price want to start, and there was a key level around this. Oh, okay, this wasn't good, but I know that price want to start coming up, right, based on my idea on directional bias. So the first thing my eyes go, I started looking for where do I trade. When this was a new day, I was asking myself, where do I trade from? So I started looking for bullish order block, bearish order block in this range. I started looking for which one, bullish order block I mean, and I spotted this one. This one is unmitigated, it fits these criteria. The next thing I want to see is it break of the main structure. Obviously it will break the first structure, also break the second one, is valid. Now the next thing you want to see is, does it have liquidity close to it? And does this liquidity, yes, it has liquidity close to it. And does this liquidity, you want to see square liquidity. It's not like if single swing doesn't work, but obviously guys, square liquidity works well. And why do I say square liquidity works? One of the reasons is support and resistance, and two is that if you guys are coming from ICT, SMC, this thing, you know that these things get blown out, right? They get swept. When there's a pile of liquidity, price tends to sweep it and continue to the other side. But just take note of this, and when the pile of liquidity is too much, sometimes price just blows it out, right? So what do I mean by blows it out? It completely runs it out. When you have a liquidity run where price just blow the entire thing and start going down. That's how it is. But remember, you have directional bias. So this is a pile of liquidity. You can see how this is like a square liquidity. So when price comes down to this place, it becomes a hyperbolic. Now let me show you guys what I mean by this square liquidity, just for clarification. Now this is, let's say price is bullish, something like this. Price break structure, we might have something like this. This whole thing becomes a pile of liquidity, right? And price can tend to mitigate this other block to continue to the upside. It is better than this single swing. And another way this thing can form is that you can have price doing something like this. You can have price in an uptrend. Let's say price in an uptrend. So price, break down and start having multiple inducements. This is another setup that I noticed that it works well. And you have one tiny order block at this point. Notice what price is doing. Price continuously creates liquidity. It's already creating liquidity in this market structure. Then what the price does here, it comes down and continues to the upside. So this is another way that this liquidity can form. In this case, it formed like a trend line, and also, and in this case, it formed like a square liquidity. So we're going to see more examples that will solidify this idea, right? And there are rules I want to give you about this thing, obviously, but maybe in some other video, like, you guys should notice something, right? So let's say price is doing something like this. Now notice something. This place is a minor downtrend, right? Just quick note, this is a minor downtrend, and normally, based on my backtesting results, and you guys must be able to must have noticed this thing, is that when price gives you like 4 clean price action or 4 clean market structure, price tends to blow it out. What do I mean by that? You can see price gives you higher high, high, lower low, clean price action, higher high, lower low, lower high, lower low. So most people are making money from this clean move. Come and give you another one, lower low, lower high, lower low. You see how clean this price action, it has done it the first, second, third, fourth. The probability of it giving you that same clean price action for the 5th time is low probability. In most cases, it gives you only 3 times before it completely blows up. So if that 3 times or 4 times aligns with the other block, you already know how price is likely to do it, right? And something else to take note of is that when price came and gave me this break of structure, if I'm on this trade now, I know that price is going to retrace, even though it's going to break this structure. This sometimes just, maybe I'll make a dedicated video, but this is something I'm noticing, right? So even though it's going to break the structure, it is going to give you a retracement back up, or in most cases a complete blowout. And if you measure this range that it used to give the last break of structure, or rather if you measure this range, or the pip, the count from year to year, price always give a few. When price breaks structure like this, it usually gives from year to year is a few pips for it to continue. So you can expect that same few pips for it to continue. So in this place, if you measure this thing, you can see that if it aligns with this place, you can know that even though price will not Even though price will not continue to the upside, it's going to give you a little bit of reaction as a retracement. But in most cases, when you have 1-2 clean break of structure or clean market structure shift, start anticipating the third one to fail. And even though you get the third one, the probability of the first one, of the fourth one coming, as in giving you that same, this thing is highly unlikely. What price you tend to do is going to blow out some liquidity from here. So when you get 1, 2, 3, just start anticipating it. And if it's even 4, just like, okay, I explained this thing in one video. Just like, let's say you are traveling, right, and you are saying that you're going to come back this week. If you don't come back on Monday, you are sure that you're going to come back this week based on your directional bias, obviously. So put this analogy well. So if you are sure that you're going to come back next week and you didn't come back on, you're sure you're going to come back this week, and Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you didn't come back, what are you expecting on Friday? The probability of you coming back that Friday is because of your friend, or let's just say your friend, you just randomly tell that he must be back this week. So if he doesn't come back Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you start expecting him, and if for some reason he didn't come back on Friday, on Saturday, you start expecting him more. The probability of him coming back on Saturday is high, right? Because of this is the only, or let's say Monday, if he doesn't come back on Friday, the probability is high. And let's say he doesn't come back on Friday, the probability of him coming back on Saturday is virtually absolute, right? He must come because of he said he must be there. So the same thing, put the same analogy here. If you are sure of the directional bias, if you are very sure of the which you will never be very sure of the directional bias, but if you are sure of the directional bias and you know our price is going to start reacting from here, you already know the price is going to go up. Now after price gives you this clean price action, price you have already after the first, second, third one, you're already expecting the fourth one to get blown out, and if the fourth one didn't get blown out, you're expecting the fifth one. So don't worry, I'm going to maybe explain this in some other video, but I just want you guys to take note of that. But that is not what we are talking about. Now I told you guys square liquidity, and I gave you guys a couple of examples. Now this is the first example I gave you guys. You can see we have liquidity here. All of them did not mitigate the other block, so it's a square liquidity. Now we have this square liquidity. I'm not saying that single string doesn't work. Single string work, but square liquidity works better. As you can even see in this case right here. You can even see it in this case, right? What do we have? We have this liquidity, we have this liquidity. It forms a square, right? It forms a pile of liquidity and price. That's how I trade. That's something that I've noticed. So you can see this one. So this is also an entry. Now let's go, and I'll be giving you guys mostly my own entry, right? Entry that I actually called. This one was an entry I called. So what is the rules of it? Let's say this was when I became interested in the market, right? The first thing I asked myself, where is my valid POI? Let's say I've already determined the directional buy is bearish. I say, where is my valid POI? So what is my valid POI? An unmitigated order block. I mark it. This is an unmitigated order block. Is there anyone up? I don't think there's anyone, but if you go further, you can also see it. But let's focus on this one, this closed one. So does it break the main structure? Yes, you can see this high, lower low, lower high, lower low. This is a main structure break. It did break a main structure. The next thing you ask yourself is range. Is it beyond 50%? And this is a bearish setup, so we are looking for it to be above 50%, which is at premium. Is obviously above this POI, is above 50%, this order block. Now we are looking for, if it's a tiny order block, it works best, give you good risk reward and everything. Now we want to see, for this liquidity, we want to see that is beyond 50%. Obviously it's beyond, and a square liquidity, I told you guys, or a pile of liquidity, or an inducement, or multiple inducement. You can call it multiple. Let's also add, for that second example I gave you, inducement. So this is what I'm looking for in this. So now look at what price did here. You see what price, that second example I taught you guys. And this is the order block. Now I noticed something. This is like an order stacked confluence, right? So if you look at this place now, you can see that price was giving higher highs on the lower time frame, higher low, higher high, higher low. It has give two clean price action. So lower time frame traders are going to be making money. So price come and make at this point higher high, higher low, Now what the price? So notice something. Since you have gotten many this thing, you should start expecting price to. It has created clean price action for the bearish traders, for the bullish traders trading this lower time frame. And you can go back and back test this. Anytime you have clean market structure like 1, 2, 3, the likelihood of the fourth one being also clean is low. The fourth one is most likely going to blow through some this thing, right? So now when you have this third this thing, you're already anticipating price to trade to the lower side, right? Plus the fact that your other block, you already know price is going to trade to the lower your this thing, right? Based on this analogy that I explained. Now, but this is just a start confluence or a reasoning behind this thing I'm saying. But now following the rules, this liquidity, this is a pile of liquidity or multiple inducement. You can see all this liquidity. This is too much. Like this liquidity is too much. So this is what happened. I literally placed my entry at this point. This is a trade I called. So this is it. Just understand the logic behind it, right? You understand the logic. So this was the trade. If you just go back this thing, you can see when I called this trade. I even made a video about it. Yeah. So this is the setup, right? You can decide to take 7 now. So understand something. You are seeing the rules. Now let's look at another one. This is also a trade that I called. Alright guys, so let me just briefly give you guys an update on the challenge we started, right? If you guys don't know, we actually started a Profem challenge, right? So the goal was to accumulate 330k in Profem, starting with a 5k Profem, which is a small Profem, just any Profem that is small, a 5k Profem. And I posted this, and this is something I've been running every new batch I start running it. Now recently we have been so this was when we started this batch. I gave you guys a new chance. We have been doing this was on July, we were on June 22, so I gave you guys a chance to enter again. We have been running the batch, but I decided to set everything for you guys so you guys can join, right? So I told you guys everything is set up, the Discord is set up, and I've gotten my account, my first 5k account. So this is an update on this thing. So after it, we have done everything, and later we had the next update on the challenge on June 25, which is 3 days from there. I told you guys phase 1 of the account have been passed. So you can see here phase 1 of the account have been passed. The next objective is to pass phase 2, withdraw 4%, and use it to use the payout to get a 25k account. So you see how we are scaling to that 330k. We're using the profit from it. So that was the goal. Now this was posted on June 25. So now recently I gave another update, which was June 30. I told you guys that audit on the account, the phase 2 of this 5k has been passed, and I'm yet to receive an email. But later on I received an email from this thing, right? So this was the email. I'll go through this thing. I told you guys, no, I've not at this point. I've not received an email from them, but this is this, and I was waiting for the minimum trading days to this, and I told you guys I want to get a new 10k. So I got a new 10k to be playing around with while we wait for the account. And once again I showed you guys this thing. So while waiting for the account, you can go through this thing. So now the last update I made on the account was that we said update on the account. This was on June 2nd, which was yesterday. I told you guys update on the Profem. I've gotten my 5k live account and we are down 1%. I posted a setup that hit stop loss. So this was that setup I told you guys that I posted. I hit stop loss in the video. It hit stop loss. So the live account was down 1%. And also this 10k account I got is this 10k account I showed you guys. This one that I got here, I told you guys I've passed phase 1, as you can see it. With this setup, I showed you guys this setup I called. You can see it, I've passed phase 1. Right. This is it. Phase 1 of the account, I've passed it. This was when I called the setup. Right, so this was the last update I make, and we have been doing this thing. If you go and search update on the challenge, or if you can just skim through the pinned comment, you can see that we have been doing this thing. This one was on May 9th. I told you guys I've gotten my account, and this thing, you can see the update. We have been doing this thing. We have been doing this thing for a while now. This was on November 2025. I told you guys first 5k account has passed, and the next is 25k. So every batch I reset it, right? So you can see proof of it. You can see. So if you even go scroll a bit higher, you can even see This was when I got the account, the 5k account. This was when I passed the first 5k account. So basically I passed the first 5k account, got the second 5k for people to cash up, passed the second 5k, and this is when I update you guys in this period that I've passed the second 5k, and we have also passed the 25k, right? So, and if you search update on this challenge, you can just see many updates. You can see this one was on February. So every month, this is something I'm doing. You can see I told you guys that account has been passed, update on the challenge, our first 5k have been passed. So what we are doing is we are going to pass the account, and when we pass the account, we are going to use the money to withdraw from it. And while we are doing this thing, we'll be explaining the logic behind each setup we are calling. So when we call a setup, we are going to explain it, break it down, and we're going to risk a certain amount, a fixed amount. Right, you're going to risk a fixed amount. You guys are going to take the same setup I'm taking, using the same risk management. Everything is going to be the same, so you guys can replicate my results. I believe in execution. I don't believe in constantly teaching students. I just want you to learn through execution. That's the fastest way to get to profitability. So if this is something you are interested in, as always, you can also send me a DM. I'm the admin in this group. Send me a DM. Just send me a DM. This is my handle. Always focus on this handle here. Sometimes I change my handle, so but this one is where you can send me, and I'll leave the link for both my WhatsApp and Telegram DM. You can send me. Please only send me DM if you are serious, if you are ready to follow the plan, and also if you are ready to make payment. It is not free. Yeah guys, so that's the update on my mentorship, and let's get back to the video. The same example applied there, and let's say this was when I became interested in the market. The thing I asked myself is, where is my valid POI? Valid POI is basically an order block that is unmitigated. This order block is unmitigated, and is there any other one? Probably we have. But this next thing, does it break of the main structure? Now if you look at this thing, it actually breaks structure. This is a low, high, lower low, lower high, lower low. This is a break of main structure. Now is it beyond 50%? Now depending on how you want to mark your range, but obviously it's beyond 50%. It's actually the extreme order block we are taking. So, and it's tiny order block. I like tiny order block. Not like if it's for tiny order block, I noticed that it gives explosive price move, right? Usually give this explosive price move. That's my own, something that I've looked out, especially in gold. This whole backtesting that I did was on gold, but I knew it works on other time frame, like especially other major pairs, right? So the next thing we want to look for is liquidity. You want to see, is it close to the order block, is that beyond 50%. If it's close to the other block, then it must be beyond 50% as well, because the other block is beyond 50%. But the next thing you want to look at is, you want to see that it's a square liquidity or multiple inducements. Now look at this liquidity. Just look at this. You can see this liquidity was right here, and also this liquidity coupled with this one. So it's like a pile of liquidity. And when I noticed what price was doing, price was forming minor structures to the upside. So when price came up to this place, it kind of blows this. You can see higher high, higher low, higher high. But honestly, this trade, I was very skeptical about this trade. This is the reason why I took my own entry after the confirmation. My entry was somewhere around this place. It was somewhere at this place. Why? Because of many things didn't stack up. I didn't get the best square liquidity I was looking for, and also we only have two move up to the upside. Price can still give us a clean structure before coming down. So that's the reason why I took this trade at this point. As a confirmation trade, I took this trade at this point. I like to target 7 now, right? So this is it, but you can see the logic playing out. Is multiple liquidity. So we had this one, but the other block was huge. You can see this pile of liquidity at this point. So much liquidity, and even as price is coming to mitigate this other block, you notice what price is doing was forming market structure, clear market structure. First I have lower, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. So I'm expecting price to this. So this is a clean market structure, 3 clean market structure. Anytime you see 3 clean market structure, start anticipating the third one or the next one to get blown out. That's something you know. Where is this example that I called? Okay, look at this setup. We had this other block. Now the thing we have to ask ourselves is, this is an unmitigated order block. You can see this liquidity, all this liquidity right there forms this like a base, like a square liquidity. So this is, I don't think I took this trade, but this is worth noting, right? I'm looking for setups I called. So now look at this one. This was, I think, the last setup I actually called good setup. I called another setup which was a loss, and I'll show you guys it fits the plan. What I told you guys, directional bias and valid POI, right? So valid POI, the other block, we first look for unmitigated order block. This order block was unmitigated. Pay attention whenever you have other blocks like this. Focus on the body, right? You see the wick is bigger than the body. Focus on the, it's so huge. Focus on the body. And the next thing we have is beyond 50%. Obviously, it's at discount. It's an extreme order block, and it's tiny. It gives me my risk reward, and also it has liquidity close to it, and is a square liquidity. Now look at this square liquidity. You can see this, it's like kind of a consolidation, right? You can see all this part of liquidity, so you can expect price to tap in to continue to the upside, and this trade was actually called, let me show you guys. See, this was, I think, the last good trade I called. This was when I called this, I told you guys, and this was when it hit full TP. And I actually called a loss recently, one midnight, this thing. So I saw this trade, I was impulsive because this was direct. I didn't go for the first rule, which is directional bias. I violated that rule. That's what resulted in this loss. So you can see this other block right here. We had this other block, break of main structure, obviously here. We have everything. You can go through the checklist. We have everything. I've gone through it. And then we have this pile of liquidity. You can see this pile of liquidity close to it. You see, like a square liquidity. So I thought it would have worked, but it didn't work. It gave me few weeks reward. It gave me like 1 hour, but it gets blown out. And now look at, we are having this pile of liquidity at this point. This is a pile of liquidity at this point. Yeah, although did it mitigate the other block? No, it didn't mitigate the other block. So this is a valid setup, but I've not yet validated the setup. I'm looking for one more criteria. Right? This is similar to the setup we just took that resulted in a loss. But if price is reacting from an order block, I might consider taking this trade. Right? This is a next week trade. The risk reward is going to be difficult for me to get my risk reward. I don't like it. I don't like the fact it's difficult. But just understand the logic. I want to go to the 1 hour time frame to see if this setup is valid. Let's see where it's coming from. Price already disrespected this other block. There's no clear place that this thing is reacting off of. So just by next week, I will make my decision, right? By next week, I'm going to make my decision whether I'm going to be taking this. I do think price is reacting from a clear order block at this point. I might say yes, price wants to trade lower. Listen, but it might still go back up and hunt this other block. This is a clear order block I'm looking at. It has liquidity, it has, so this is more like an inducement. This can be more like an, if you already have this liquidity that has formed this base like a square liquidity, so it might be an inducement for price to come to this place and then finally trade lower. So I do think price was trading to this, what has tapped to a very clear order block, valid order block distance. I would have been interested, but I'm not yet certain when the market opens on Monday. On Sunday actually is when it opens, but next week this is a setup I'm going to be looking at, right? And I'm going to still be validating it. Maybe this is my video setup I'll be posting for free, or I might not be posting. It's fun. So yeah, I hope you guys learned something. As always, please don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe to the channel, and have a great day.